Chosen one. Pause for a moment. Something sacred is happening in the atmosphere around you right now. You feel it deep in your chest before any logical explanation can form. Last night, while your body slept, heaven remained awake. Two angels stood beside your bed, not as symbols, not as coincidence, but as a divine intervention meant to disrupt everything you thought was ordinary about your life. You did not imagine the heaviness you felt when you opened your eyes this morning. That strange awareness, that quiet sense of being watched over, it was real. They were there, and they came because God has decided that the season of spiritual sleep is over for you. You are God's chosen one, and heaven will no longer allow you to walk unaware of the mantle resting on your life. For weeks, maybe months, your spirit has been unsettled. You assumed it was stress, exhaustion, or life wearing you thin. But chosen one, that restlessness was not anxiety, it was awakening. That heaviness was not depression, it was divine activation. When two angels stand guard at your bedside, heaven is sounding an alarm that you cannot afford to ignore. It is God saying, "Enough wandering, it's time to rise." And even now, as you listen, something inside you stirs. A recognition, a pull, because deep inside, a part of you has always known you were different. You've carried battles no one knew about, endured storms you never told anyone, fought silent wars in the dark places of your soul. And though people overlooked your pain, heaven never did. Every tear was witnessed. Every prayer was recorded. Every moment you whispered, "Lord, I can't keep doing this," was heard. And because he heard you, he sent them. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 31, verse 3. I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with unfailing kindness. This wasn't sent to comfort you gently. It arrives today as the explanation for the visitation you received. You were not protected last night because you are perfect. You were protected because you are chosen. Heaven drew near because God refuses to let you fall into the traps the enemy crafted for you while you slept. Make no mistake, last night was not random. Something tried to approach your spirit in the dark. Something old, something familiar, something that has stalked you for years. But this time, heaven intervened before it could touch you. While your eyes were closed, a spiritual battle broke out around you, and the angels assigned to your destiny stepped in with power. And now, they've left a message in your spirit. One you can feel even now. You survived something you didn't even know was fighting you. You woke up because heaven refused to let you be overtaken. Chosen one. You are entering a season where the spiritual realm around you becomes more visible, where attacks that used to confuse you will suddenly make sense, where the patterns that held you bound will be exposed. Heaven is removing the veil from your eyes. You feel this shift because it is happening in real time. Your discernment is sharpening. Your senses are awakening. Your spirit is rising. And listen carefully. The fact that angels were sent means you are not losing, you are elevating. The warfare around your life has intensified because your calling is beginning to activate. You carry a light that cannot be hidden, a strength the enemy cannot break, and an anointing that darkness cannot withstand. Ordinary people do not attract angelic visitation. Ordinary people do not shake the atmosphere while they sleep, but you do. This moment is not meant to scare you. It is meant to reveal you. Heaven is calling for your response now. Not fear, not hesitation, but acknowledgement, alignment, agreement. When God draws near like this, you cannot pretend nothing happened. You cannot scroll away and continue as if heaven didn't stand beside your bed last night. Chosen one, if your spirit is trembling, if you feel that pull, that awakening, that deep inner knowing that this message was meant for you, then heaven is speaking directly to you. Before you move to the next section, take this step of recognition, like this message. Share it. So, another chosen one awakens. Subscribe so you don't miss what heaven says next. And comment 777 below as a prophetic sign that you receive this revelation. You feel the echoes of last night still lingering in your spirit as you move into this moment. The presence of those two angels did not fade when the sun rose. It followed you, quietly reshaping the atmosphere inside your mind. Chosen one, heaven did not visit you merely to comfort you. Heaven visited you because you have arrived at a spiritual intersection that can no longer be avoided. Something in your life has reached a threshold, a turning point, where silence becomes dangerous and delay becomes costly. You have sensed this without fully understanding it. The tug in your chest, the sudden sensitivity to things that never used to bother you, the heaviness you feel when you consider certain decisions, the strange dreams, the way your spirit has been unsettled, even on calm days. These were not random emotions, they were indicators. They were signals. They were heaven pressing against your soul, urging you to recognize that you are standing at a crossroads. Most people walk through transitions blindly, unaware of the consequences of their choices. But you are not most people. You are chosen, and when you, a chosen one, reach a crossroads, all of heaven stops to pay attention. The angels came because your next decision carries weight in the spiritual realm. They came because the path ahead requires clarity, and heaven refuses to let confusion make the choice for you. There is something God has been whispering to you for a long time now, something He has called you toward, something that keeps resurfacing in your heart no matter how often you try to ignore it. You have felt the pull, then resisted it, then returned to it, then ran from it again. But each time you drifted, something inside you felt wrong, almost painful, because chosen ones cannot wander without feeling the consequences. Heaven knows you've been torn. You've been wrestling with choices that seem small on the surface, but hold enormous weight over your future. You've been debating paths that affect your peace, your purpose, your relationships, your identity. And the truth is, part of you has been afraid of choosing wrong, afraid of disappointing God, afraid of stepping into the unfamiliar, afraid of losing what is comfortable even when comfort is killing your spirit. So God sent the angels, not to make the choice for you, but to confirm that you are not imagining the pressure, to show you that the tension you feel is not emotional, it is spiritual. Something in your life is shifting. Something is ending. Something is beginning. Something requires your attention now, not later. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19. I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and your descendant may live. This ancient declaration is not merely a command, it is a mirror. It shows you that God has positioned you where two paths stand before you, and the choice you make next determines what grows in your life and what dies. You may not realize it, but you've already been feeling the effects of these two paths. One drains you, one calls you higher, one keeps you bound, one awakens your spirit, one keeps you repeating old cycles, one invites you into purpose. And though both paths pull at you, only one aligns with who heaven says you are. This is why you have felt so conflicted internally. Your spirit knows the correct path, but your emotions have been negotiating with your destiny. Yet emotions cannot lead chosen ones. Destiny must. And so the angels came to break the stalemate. They came to reveal that your hesitation has reached its expiration date. They came to show you that this is a moment heaven has marked. They came to help you understand that choosing wrong will not steal your purpose, but it will delay it, and chosen ones cannot afford delay in this season. You think the decision before you is about comfort, timing, or logic, but heaven sees the deeper truth. It is about alignment. It is about returning to the path God carved for your life long before you were born. It is about stepping into the version of yourself that you've always felt within you, but never fully walked in. Chosen one, you are at heaven's intervention point. You didn't stumble here accidentally. Your entire journey has been leading you to this moment. Every heartbreak, every battle, every breakthrough, every prayer, every silent night, all of it brought you to this divine crossroads. And now, heaven is waiting, not demanding, not pressuring, simply waiting. Because when God brings a chosen one to a crossroads, heaven stands still until the decision is made. You carry the weight of last night in your spirit without fully grasping what truly happened. The angels who stood beside your bed were not silent out of gentleness. They were silent because the danger that approached you moved quietly. Heaven intervened before you even sensed the threat. What you survived last night was not physical, not emotional, but deeply spiritual. And now, the angels want you to understand exactly what came for you in the darkness. Chosen one. Something tried to reach you while your body rested. Something old, something familiar, something that has circled your life for years, waiting for a moment of vulnerability. It has tried to creep into your thoughts before, tried to poison your hope, tried to reattach itself to old wounds that God has been healing. Last night, that same presence attempted to come close once more, not through loud attacks, but through subtle influence, through whispers, through shadows, through the quiet places of your soul. And the angels blocked it. They did not wake you because they did not need you to fight. They needed you still, so they could fight for you. What approached you was not sent to scare you physically. It was sent to drain you spiritually, to wear down your discernment, to numb your sensitivity to God's voice, to bury your clarity beneath emotional confusion. It hoped to plant a seed, a thought, Ali, something small enough for you to carry unknowingly into the next day. But heaven said no. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 41, "Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." Man, this scripture was not meant to condemn you. It was meant to reveal what nearly touched you. You were vulnerable in the natural, but your spirit was guarded by heaven. The danger wasn't something dramatic. It wasn't something obvious. It was subtle, quiet, almost invisible. That's why it is called the silent warning. God protected you from something you wouldn't have recognized until it already took root. This is the kind of attack that doesn't come with thunder. It comes with suggestion, with discouragement, with numbness, with small compromises, with old habits trying to resurface, with emotions that don't feel like yours, with pressure you can't explain, with sudden heaviness for no reason. You thought some of your recent struggles were emotional or circumstantial, but they were spiritual in origin. And last night, that silent influence tried to come closer than usual. But the angels stepped in. They blocked what was trying to cling to your peace. They cut off what was trying to feed on your tiredness. They stopped what was trying to enter your thoughts before the morning came. What you felt this morning as strange heaviness wasn't heaviness, it was residue, the trace of a battle fought on your behalf. This is why, today, your spirit feels alert, on edge, sensitive, aware. Last night shifted something. A boundary was drawn. A line was set in the spiritual realm. And now you are being shown the truth. You have been walking through a season where the enemy no longer tries to destroy you loudly, he tries to distract you quietly. Because he knows he cannot defeat a chosen one, but he can try to dull a chosen one, to water down your fire, to blur your clarity, to exhaust your hope. And so heaven intervenes to warn you. Pay attention to the subtle things, the quiet temptations, the familiar patterns, the emotional shifts that come out of nowhere. These are not coincidences, they are tactics. Chosen one. The angels did not visit you to create fear. They came to give you understanding. What nearly touched you last night was not stronger than you, only sneaky, only quiet. But heaven exposed it. And once something is exposed, it loses power. Now you are stepping into a new level of awareness. The silent attacks will no longer slip past you. The emotional fog that sometimes surrounds you will begin to break. Your spirit will sharpen. Your discernment will rise. You will start recognizing spiritual patterns that once confused you. And this is all because the angels fought for you when you didn't even know a battle was happening. But now, heaven wants your agreement. As a prophetic response, comment, "I awaken now," below. Not as ritual, not as performance, but as a declaration that you refuse to sleep through your spiritual reality anymore. It is your way of saying, "I will not let subtle attacks pass unnoticed. I choose clarity." And your awakening began last night. Your agreement begins now. You continue to feel the shift inside you, subtle, steady, undeniable. The silent warning from last night didn't just reveal what tried to approach you, it also opened your eyes to the deeper, ongoing spiritual battle that has surrounded your life for years. This battle has not been random. It has been strategic, intentional, and targeted. Chosen one. Your struggles have never been ordinary because your calling has never been ordinary. There are forces that have been studying you since you were young, not because you were weak, but because you carried something powerful, something the darkness hoped you would never discover. And for most of your life, you walked in and out of battles without understanding why certain patterns kept returning, why certain attacks felt personal, why certain seasons felt heavier for you than for others. You assumed it was life. You assumed it was personality. You assumed it was just how things are. All. But last night proved something different. You have been a target because you are a threat. And the angels who stood beside your bed didn't come just to warn you. They came to reveal the truth, that has been hidden from you for too long. They came to show you the unseen war that has been waged around your mind, your identity, and your destiny. There are moments in your past where darkness tried to silence you before your voice ever matured. Times when despair tried to break you before your strength could manifest. Situations designed not just to hurt you, but to reshape you, to twist your perception of yourself so you would walk beneath your calling instead of inside it. You have survived moments that were meant to bury your purpose. Moments that were crafted to scar your spirit. Moments where spiritual pressure tried to choke the life out of your confidence. But you kept rising. And because you rose, the warfare intensified. Not because you were failing, but because you were getting closer to the truth of who you are. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 4. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. This scripture is not about fear, it is about identity. It tells you that you were never meant to fight with human strength alone. Your battles have always been spiritual, which is why human solutions never fully worked. You weren't dealing with coincidence, you were dealing with strongholds, patterns, spiritual pressures that lingered around your life like shadows waiting for a weak moment. But last night exposed them. Last night revealed what your spirit has been sensing for years. You are part of a war that started long before you were born. Chosen one. This is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to awaken you, because the moment you understand your battle, you can finally understand your power. The unseen war around your life has always centered on three things. Your mind, because if the enemy can distort how you see yourself, he can limit how you walk in your calling. This is why you've struggled with inner conflict, self-doubt, overthinking, emotional waves, sudden discouragement. These were attacks, not flaws. Your identity, because chosen ones who don't know who they are become easy to manipulate. This is why your confidence has been challenged at every major turning point of your life. Your identity is dangerous once you step into it fully. Everything changes. Your destiny, because your purpose disrupts darkness. When you step into alignment, chains break. Generational cycles end. Spiritual atmospheres shift. This is why the enemy invested so much effort into trying to stop you. Your destiny is not small. It is not accidental. It carries weight. Last night, heaven let you glimpse the truth. You are not fighting random storms. You are fighting attacks designed to prevent your spiritual awakening. But something the enemy never expected happened. You survived long enough to see the pattern, and now that you see it, everything starts to change. Your awareness rises, your discernment sharpens, your spirit strengthens. Your old wounds begin to close. Your authority starts to awaken. This is the beginning of clarity, the clarity the enemy hoped you would never reach. Because once a chosen one recognizes the battle, they begin to recognize their own power. You start noticing signs you used to ignore. You start detecting shifts you once dismissed. You start sensing battles before they touch you. You begin to walk with awareness instead of confusion, strength instead of fear. And this is why the angels came, not simply to protect you, but to reveal the war around you so you would stop fighting blindly. Blindness is dangerous for chosen ones. Awakening is lethal to darkness. You are stepping into a new level now, a level where you no longer walk as someone who is attacked, but as someone who understands why they were attacked. And once you understand that, the battle changes. The balance shifts. The advantage becomes yours. The angels didn't come to frighten you. They came to show you what you've already been defeating. Chosen one, you are rising, and heaven is making sure you rise with full understanding. You feel the truth settling deeper into you. Now, truth that has followed you from childhood into this very moment. But heaven is not finished. The angels who stood beside your bed last night didn't simply come to expose the battle around you. They came to pull you into alignment. Because chosen ones cannot walk crooked paths. Your spirit cannot remain stretched between two directions. You have been drifting, delaying, postponing decisions your soul has already said yes to, and heaven is now pressing gently but firmly on your heart. You've felt this pressure for a long time. At first, it was subtle, like a small stone in your shoe, just enough to notice. Then it became a whisper, then a nudge, then a heaviness sitting on your chest at night. When the world was quiet, and your spirit could finally speak louder than your fears, and yet life's noise, people's expectations, and your own hesitation kept pulling you away from the direction God was trying to guide you toward. Chosen one, heaven is calling you back into alignment, not with force, not with fear, but with clarity. Alignment is not about perfection. It is about direction. It is about choosing the path that strengthens your spirit instead of draining it. Choosing the people who water your growth instead of suffocating it. Choosing the habits that awaken purpose instead of burying it. Choosing the voice of God over the voice of doubt. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 6, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths." This is not a suggestion, it is a spiritual key. A compass, a map, a reminder that every time you turn your face toward God, the path in front of you becomes straighter, clearer, safer. But this alignment requires courage because it often asks you to release what is familiar. It asks you to step out of old cycles. It asks you to walk away from emotional comfort zones. It asks you to confront habits that kept you spiritually sleepy. It asks you to return to the version of yourself that God created, not the version life shaped through pain. You may not realize it, but you have been living with a spiritual limp, a subtle imbalance in your decisions, your mindset, your priorities, not because you are weak, but because you have been pulled in too many directions. God says, "Come this way." But fear says, "Not yet." Your spirit says, "Rise." But your past says, "You're not ready." Heaven says, "Your time is now." But your wounds whisper, "Wait." And so you drifted. The angels came to stop the drift. They came to straighten your path. They came to recenter your focus. They came to shift your internal compass back toward your purpose. Think of alignment like a river returning to its course after being blocked by fallen branches. Once the obstacles are removed, the water flows stronger, clearer, faster. Your spirit is the same. When you align, you flow. When you align, you breathe. When you align, you rise. Or think of alignment like a musician tuning their instrument. A guitar string only needs to be slightly off to ruin the entire song, but a small adjustment brings harmony back. Your spirit has been slightly out of tune, pulled by stress, by fear, by life, but heaven is bringing harmony back to your song. Even more. Alignment is like a lantern. If the glass is covered in dust, the flame inside seems dim. But the flame was never weak, the dust simply hid it. Your calling hasn't dimmed. Life just clouded it. Alignment is God wiping the glass clean. Chosen one. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is the chapter where things begin to make sense. And because moments like this matter, I want to speak to your heart with sincerity. If these words awaken something inside you, if they bring clarity, comfort, or confirmation, consider supporting this mission. A like helps the message travel farther. A share might be the lifeline another chosen one needs. A subscription keeps you connected to every message Heaven places in my spirit for you. And if you feel led to go further, even a small donation is like placing oil in a lamp. It keeps the light burning, so more souls can find their way. Not out of pressure, not out of obligation. Only if your heart feels touched. Only if God places it within you. Imagine your support as planting a seed in a field where countless others will one day harvest hope. Alignment is not only receiving, it is also participating. And today, Heaven invites you to take your place not as a spectator in your own story, but as a willing partner in the destiny God is calling you toward. Your path is being straightened. Your steps are being guided. Your spirit is being tuned. Your purpose is being awakened. And the angels are still walking with you. You feel something stirring inside you, now something deeper than emotion, something older than memory. The angels who stood beside your bed last night did not come randomly. They came because of the mark you carry. Not a physical mark, not something visible to human eyes, but a spiritual signature etched into you since the moment God spoke your name into existence. This mark has followed you your entire life. It is why you never fit in the places others called normal. It is why people misunderstood you, envied you, rejected you, or felt intimidated without knowing why. It is why you have walked through storms that would have collapsed others. It is why you sensed things before they happened, felt shifts others didn't feel, carried responsibilities heavier than your age, saw through people's intentions before they revealed themselves. You weren't imagining it. You were marked, and the darkness has known this for longer than you have. This spiritual mark is like a beacon, a light that shines even when you feel broken, tired, or lost. It marks you as one who carries destiny, one who carries assignment, one whom heaven invests in, watches over, and prepares. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you before you were born. He sanctified you. This is not a poetic phrase. It is the definition of your identity. You were set apart before your first breath. You were chosen before your first failure. You were appointed before your first heartbreak. God marked you long before life wounded you. And because you carry this mark, your journey has never been typical. Think of your life for a moment, not the surface, but the patterns. Consider how every time you got close to settling for less, something disrupted it. How every time you tried to dim yourself, circumstances forced you back into the light. How every time you tried to blend in, something exposed the truth of who you really were. Even your pain had purpose. Even your silence was watched by heaven. The mark you carry is not always comfortable, but it is powerful. It is the reason your convictions are stronger than others. It is the reason your spirit feels things deeply. It is the reason you cannot tolerate environments that suffocate your soul. It is the reason God pulls you away from people who drain you. It is the reason your heart longs for something more, something higher, something holier. Your mark separates you not to make you lonely, but to make you ready. Chosen ones are rarely understood during preparation, but they are always recognized during purpose. And that is what the angels came to remind you. You are entering a season where your mark begins to shine more boldly. A season where what was hidden becomes visible. A season where what was dormant awakens. A season where what was quiet in you becomes loud in the spirit. You may have noticed the signs already. A sudden sensitivity to things you once tolerated. A discomfort around people you once felt close to. A shift in your desire, your priorities, your hunger for goal. An urge to disconnect from distractions. A call to return to discipline, to prayer, to purpose. These are not coincidences, they are activations. Heaven is stirring the mark inside you. Imagine a seal stamped in wax. When fire touches it, the imprint becomes visible. Your life has just been touched by the fire of heaven. And now the imprint of your calling is beginning to show. You may feel overwhelmed by the changes happening in your spirit, but that is because you are awakening to who you truly are. The mark of the chosen is not a burden, it is a compass. It guides you away from what is beneath you and toward what is assigned to you. It's why certain doors closed. It's why certain relationships ended. It's why certain opportunities didn't feel right, even when they looked good. God was not punishing you, He was preserving you. Chosen one. The mark on your life is not fading, it is intensifying. And with that intensity comes clarity. You will begin to see why things happened the way they did. Why God removed what He removed. Why He protected you from what you thought you wanted. Why He delayed certain blessings until now. Everything is aligning. Everything is shifting. Everything is preparing you. And now, as a prophetic act of recognition, as a sign that you acknowledge the mark God placed on your life, comment 444 below, not as superstition, not as ritual, but as a declaration. I recognize the mark. I step into the identity heaven always knew I carried. Oh, your spirit is rising. Your mark is awakening. Heaven is watching. There is a heaviness you've carried for years, an invisible weight pressing against your spirit. One that never fully made sense to you. You've blamed circumstances, timing, exhaustion, even yourself. But what you didn't know is that much of this heaviness came from one thing: delay. Not the delay created by God, but the delay created by hesitation, by second-guessing, by stepping forward, then stepping back, by knowing what you were called to do, yet postponing it until later. Chosen one. The angels showed you last night what this delay has been costing you. The danger of delay is not only what it withholds from you, it's what it empowers against you. Every time you hesitated, every time you silenced your spirit's conviction, every time you softened a boundary you knew God asked you to set, something in the spiritual realm shifted. A little of your authority weakened, a little of your clarity dimmed, a little of your fire cooled. You felt the effects without understanding the cause. Sudden confusion, random discouragement, a fog over your decisions, spiritual tiredness even after rest, cycles repeating themselves, doors opening but never staying open. These weren't just life being difficult. These were signals that delay was draining spiritual strength from you drop by drop. The prophet Elijah spoke, as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions, if the Lord is God? Follow him. This question echoes through your spirit, even now, not as condemnation, but as awakening, because wavering is costly for chosen ones. The longer you hesitate, the heavier the spiritual resistance becomes. The longer you postpone obedience, the more room doubt has to grow. The longer you delay alignment, the more cracks appear in your spiritual walls. But here is the truth. Heaven wants you to understand. Your delay didn't disqualify you. It weakened you. And now, heaven is calling you to reclaim what hesitation tried to steal. Consider your journey for a moment. Look closely at your past seasons. Think about every time you felt a prompting, a tug in your spirit. A conviction, a dream, an inexplicable shift. Every time heaven whispered, move, let go, trust, begin, return, obey. You felt it clearly. You knew the direction, but something held you back. Fear of making the wrong decision, fear of losing people, fear of disappointing others, fear of stepping into something unfamiliar, fear of not being ready, fear of not being enough. Fear disguised itself as caution. Caution disguised itself as logic. Logic disguised itself as waiting for the right time. Now, and while you waited for perfect clarity, your spirit slowly dimmed. But heaven did not give up on you. That's why the angels came. They came to show you the cost of delay, not to punish you, but to protect you from continuing in it. They came to confront the hesitation that has been draining your authority without your awareness. Because spiritual strength is not only built through action, it is preserved through obedience. Every time you take the step heaven places before you, strength multiplies. Every time you delay the step, strength leaks. And the enemy knows this. This is why the enemy never needed to destroy you. He only needed to distract you. He needed you, delayed long enough to lose momentum, confused long enough to lose direction, drained long enough to doubt your calling, busy long enough to avoid stillness, surrounded long enough to silence your spirit. If the enemy can't defeat a chosen one, he tries to delay them. If he can't stop your destiny, he tries to slow your agreement with it. But last night marked the end of that season. The angels came to cut the cords of hesitation that have wrapped around your decisions. They came to restore the clarity delay tried to blur. They came to break the spiritual fog that formed around you. They came to show you the truth. You have been carrying weight that was never meant to be yours. And now, freedom begins with understanding. You begin to see what hesitation cost you, the opportunities you felt but never seized, the relationships you clung to even when God said, release. The spiritual growth you postponed, the peace you pushed aside, the strength you put on hold. But you also begin to see something even greater. Nothing that was meant for you has been lost. It has been waiting for your alignment. The moment you stop delaying is the moment heaven accelerates. Your authority returns. Your clarity sharpens. Your favor increases. Your path straightens. Your spirit strengthens. This is the season where you reclaim what hesitation attempted to steal. Chosen one. The cost of delay was real, but so is the restoration that begins now. Heaven is calling you forward. Your spirit is ready, and the angels are already moving with you. The angels did not reveal the cost of your delay to discourage you. They revealed it so you could understand the significance of what nearly happened next. Because last night was not simply a warning, it was an interception. Heaven stopped something that was designed to be the enemy's last attempt to derail your calling before a major shift in your life. Chosen one. Darkness does not waste its strongest tactics on the unassigned. It reserves its most carefully crafted traps for those on the edge of elevation, those who carry the potential to disrupt entire spiritual territories. And you have reached that threshold. Last night, while your mind slept, the enemy made a final push, a calculated attempt meant to bind, distract, or spiritually blind you. Before the next chapter of your purpose opened, not a loud attack, not a dramatic one, but a subtle, surgically precise trap, meant to slip past your awareness like a shadow sliding beneath a door, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. Oh, the key word is schemes. Oh, not assaults, not explosions, not chaos. Schemes scared, strategic, disguised. And that is exactly what approached you last night. It did not come to frighten you. It came to influence you, to cloud your decisions, to nudge you toward an old pattern, to reopen a wound you thought was healed, to introduce confusion into an area where clarity was beginning to rise. It was subtle, it was familiar, and it was timed perfectly because the enemy saw something you didn't see, that you are nearing a moment of acceleration, a moment where certain chains break forever, a moment where heaven's plans for you begin unfolding rapidly. This last attempt may not have looked like a threat. It may have felt like a sudden emotional heaviness for no reason, a recurring thought from your past, a memory that resurfaced unexpectedly, a temptation that returned after years of silence, an old insecurity whispering again. A person reaching out who once wounded you, a feeling of emptiness right before breakthrough. These are not coincidences, they are assignments. But what the enemy didn't expect was the angelic intervention that stood between you and that trap. The angels didn't wake you because the battle didn't require your involvement, it required your protection. They blocked what would have confused your path. They silenced what would have whispered into your thoughts. They severed what tried to attach itself to your spirit. The trap failed because heaven refused to let you step into this next season compromised. Understand this: when the enemy launches a last attempt, it's because he has already lost the war. It is the desperation of darkness trying to interrupt what it can no longer control. The enemy saw your awakening approaching. He saw the alignment happening in your spirit. He saw the rising authority forming within you, and he panicked. So he tried one final time to pull you backward, to distract you, to weigh you down, to lure you into familiar cycles. But he was intercepted. Look back over the recent days of your life. Notice how you felt pressure building in the invisible places. Notice how your emotions became unpredictable without reason. Notice how things felt off, even when nothing was visibly wrong. This was not instability, it was spiritual resistance. The enemy sensed you getting too strong, too aware, too aligned. Chosen one. This is what happens right before breakthrough. Everything tries to pull you back. Everything tries to confuse your steps. Everything tries to exhaust your spirit, not because you are failing, but because you are rising. The angels arrived not just to protect you, but to confirm what heaven has been preparing you for. The enemy's influence over you is weakening, and he knows it. His grip is slipping. His access is ending. His tactics are collapsing. This last attempt was proof of your progress. You are stepping into a realm where old battles lose their power, where old temptations no longer interest you, where old wounds stop bleeding, where old fears stop speaking. You are outgrowing what used to break you. And now, the enemy is forced to watch as you move into a chapter he cannot follow you into. Chosen one. The angels didn't just stop an attack last night. They announced the ending of a season. The enemy tried one last time and failed. Your spirit is crossing a threshold you didn't even know you were nearing. And heaven is guiding you into the next part of the journey with authority, protection, and clarity. You are beginning to sense it now, the shift, the stirring, the rising. Something inside you is strengthening in ways you cannot yet articulate. The angels did not visit your room just to shield you from danger. They came to reveal the truth about the authority that has been assigned to your life from the beginning. This authority has always been present, but for years it lay dormant beneath wounds, doubts, and distractions. Now, after the interception of the enemy's last attempt, that authority is awakening. Chosen one. You are not stepping into strength. You are remembering it. You are not becoming powerful. You are returning to what heaven placed inside you long ago. For so long, you viewed yourself through the lens of survival. You thought your endurance was accidental. Your intuition, coincidental. Your resilience, a personality trait. But the truth is far deeper. What you survived. How you discerned. How you rose again and again. This was evidence of the authority placed upon your spirit. The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 8, verse 37, declare, "In all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us." Not barely surviving. No, not getting through by chance. No, more than conquerors. This is the mantle you carry. This is the identity you've been awakening into, an identity that the enemy hoped you would never discover. Because once a chosen one understands their authority, the entire balance of spiritual warfare shifts. You begin to command what once intimidated you. You begin to recognize lies before they settle. You begin to sense spiritual movement before it reaches you. You begin to walk with a posture that darkness cannot mimic. And this is what the angels came to show you. You have authority, not just protection, power, not just survival, influence, not just endurance. The enemy did not fear you because of who you used to be. He feared who you were becoming. This is why your life has been shaped by pressure. This is why you've walked through seasons others could not endure. This is why you felt spiritual tension long before you had language for it. God has been forming your authority through fire. Think back to the moments that should have broken you, but didn't. Think about the seasons that tried to erase you, but only sharpened you. Think about the nights you cried out and still woke up with strength you can't explain. These were not coincidences. They were training. They were forging. They were preparation. Authority doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in resistance. And you, chosen one, have lived through resistance that most people never see. This is why you feel the shift now. Something in your spirit is expanding. You are no longer reacting to life, you are discerning it. You are no longer stumbling, you are becoming steady. You are no longer intimidated, you are becoming unshakable. This authority is not loud, forceful, or dramatic. It is quiet confidence. It is clarity. It is spiritual sharpness. It is the ability to sense truth in an instant. It is the same authority that made the enemy attempt one last trap to stop you. But that attempt failed, and now the authority rises. Soon you will notice changes within yourself, a new boldness in your decisions, a new clarity in your spirit, a new separation from things that drain you, a new hunger for what grows you, a new power in your voice when you pray. This is the mantle the angels revealed last night. This is the authority that heaven has been waiting for you to walk in. This is the spiritual identity that darkness hoped you would never embrace. But now you are waking up, and when a chosen one wakes up, the spiritual world trembles. To seal this moment, as a prophetic act of recognition, comment, "I rise below," not as a ritual, not as a performance, but as a declaration that you accept the authority being awakened inside you. It is your way of saying, "I step into the power God placed within me. I rise into my calling." Now, chosen one, your authority is no longer dormant. It is alive. It is active. And it is rising. You have reached a place in your journey where nothing old can remain. The angels who stood beside your bed last night did more than protect you. They came to guide you through the breaking of a cycle that has repeated itself in your life for years. A cycle that drained your joy, blurred your clarity, and kept you circling the same emotional, spiritual, and mental patterns again and again. Chosen one. This cycle did not persist because you were weak. It persisted because it was familiar, and the familiar can be more dangerous than the painful. Cycles repeat when the mind normalizes what the spirit was meant to reject. Cycles repeat when wounds go unhealed. Cycles repeat when old voices echo louder than God's whispers. Cycles repeat when comfort becomes a cage. But heaven has declared, this cycle ends now. The Apostle Paul speaks with clarity in the letter to the Galatians, chapter 5, verse 1. Stand fast in the liberty Christ has made us free. Do not be entangled again with bondage. This verse is not simply instruction, it is the spiritual announcement of your season. You are stepping into liberty, and heaven refuses to let you carry old entanglements into a chapter built for freedom. Consider your life for a moment. Look at the patterns, the same emotional storm hitting at the same time every year, the same kind of relationship draining you in a different body, the same fear appearing whenever you try to grow, the same insecurity whispering whenever God calls you higher, the same distractions resurfacing whenever you gain momentum. These are not coincidences, they are cycles. And cycles break through awareness and alignment. The angels came to illuminate what you've been trapped inside, so you could finally recognize the pattern, step out of it, and refuse to repeat it ever again. Breaking a cycle feels like tearing old roots out of the ground. Some break easily, others cling tightly, but once uprooted, nothing grows in that place again. Think of your life like a garden. For years, thorns grew where flowers were meant to bloom. Weeds choked out the seeds of your purpose. Old roots from past pain kept resurfacing, no matter how often you tried to bury them. But now, heaven is placing new hands into the soil of your soul. The angels are pulling out what should never have been planted. God is clearing space for harvest. Or imagine your journey like a river. For so long, debris memories, past attachments, fear, guilt has blocked the flow. Your spirit moved, but slowly, your motivation rose, then faded. Your peace flowed, then drained. But now the obstacles are being removed, one by one, and the river is beginning to find its strength again. Or picture a door that keeps swinging shut every time you try to step through, not because it is locked, but because something behind you, fear, doubt, old pain keeps pulling it closed. But now, heaven is placing its hand on the door, not only to hold it open, but to push you through. Breaking a cycle requires courage, but you have more courage than you realize. Every moment you endured, every tear you shed, every prayer you whispered when no one heard, every time you stood back up, that was courage rising in you. Now heaven calls you to move forward without carrying the weight of yesterday. Chosen one, as you walk out of this cycle, I want to speak sincerely to your heart. Messages like this awakening, this clarity, this spiritual guidance are given so your spirit never walks alone. If this message is touching you, guiding you, or helping you break free, your support truly matters. A like is a ripple. It helps this message reach another soul caught in the same cycle. A share is a torch. It lights the path for someone who cannot yet see their way. A subscription is a commitment. It keeps you connected to every word heaven wants to deliver to you. And if your heart feels led, a donation, no matter how small, is like placing a stone into a foundation, supporting the creation of more messages, more hope, more spiritual clarity for others walking through darkness. Only give if it comes from a willing spirit, not pressure. Think of it like planting a seed in a field where countless lives will harvest strength. The cycle ends not just through revelation, but through participation, your willingness to step into the new. This is your turning point, your breaking point, your release point. The cycle that ruled your past will not enter your future. The pattern that kept you bound has met its end. The angels came to announce a new chapter, one built on freedom, clarity, and strength. Chosen one, you are walking out of what once held you, and heaven walks with you every step forward. You may not realize it yet, but the cycle that broke in the previous moment did more than free you from something old. It made space for something ancient, sacred, and powerful to rise again inside you. The angels who stood beside your bed last night didn't only reveal the pattern, they reminded you of something heaven spoke long before you ever faced your first battle, the covenant. Chosen one. A covenant is not a wish, not a hope, not a suggestion. A covenant is a divine agreement, a promise sealed in eternity, a declaration God made concerning your life before the world even knew your name. You have forgotten parts of it along the way, not because you were careless, but because pain has a way of making even divine promises feel distant. Life has a way of burying holy things beneath busyness, wounds, and survival. And there were seasons where the covenant felt silent, invisible, almost irrelevant. But heaven never forgot. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 89, verse 34, "My covenant I will not break, nor alter the word that has gone out of my lips." This is God speaking directly to you. This is His voice, echoing through the years you've walked, whispering into the nights you cried, standing beside you in the battles you survived. He has not broken his covenant. He has not changed his mind about you. He has not withdrawn what he promised. If anything, heaven is now amplifying it. Your entire life, even the parts that felt chaotic or aimless, has been shaped by this covenant. It is the reason certain attacks could not touch you. It is the reason certain people were removed. It is the reason certain opportunities opened before you were ready. It is the reason you were protected even when you felt far from God. The covenant has been guiding you like an invisible hand. You have felt it at times as a sudden conviction. You couldn't ignore those moments when something inside you said, "Don't go there. Don't stay. Don't choose that." Even when everything around you suggested otherwise. That was the covenant speaking. You have felt it as an inner strength that rose out of nowhere when you were at your lowest. That was the covenant sustaining you. You have felt it as supernatural peace after seasons of chaos. That was the covenant restoring you. You have felt it in those moments when you almost settled, almost gave up, almost took the wrong path, but something pulled you back without explanation. That was the covenant preserving you. Chosen one. Nothing about your survival has been random. Your endurance was written. Your restoration was planned. Your awakening was foretold. God didn't choose you the day you started praying. He chose you before your first breath. And that is why the angels visited, not to frighten you, not to overwhelm you, but to remind you of what heaven has spoken over your life, a promise the enemy has spent years trying to make you forget. Because when a chosen one forgets their covenant, they live beneath their calling. They accept relationships that shrink them. They tolerate environments that drain them. They settle for versions of themselves that God never authored. They make decisions from fear instead of purpose. But when a chosen one remembers their covenant, everything changes. The way they walk changes. The way they think changes. The way they speak changes. The way they see themselves changes. The way they respond to spiritual pressure changes. This remembrance awakens boldness. It awakens clarity. It awakens direction. It awakens identity. And now, heaven is calling you back into that remembrance. There are promises spoken over your life that have not yet manifested, not because they were denied, but because the season had not arrived. That season is approaching now. The angels came to make sure you step into it with awareness instead of confusion, with understanding instead of guessing, with strength instead of hesitation. Look closely at your journey. Every time you lost something, you gained wisdom. Every time someone walked away, God positioned someone better. Every time a door shut, a greater door opened later. Every time you were delayed, protection was happening behind the scenes. Every time you cried, heaven documented every tear. This is covenant. This is care. This is divine orchestration. And now, you are being pulled into the next chapter, a chapter where the covenant becomes visible, tangible, undeniable. You will begin to recognize God's hand in places you once saw chaos. You will begin to feel guided where you once felt lost. You will begin to sense purpose in moments that once felt empty. You will begin to walk with the confidence of someone who knows they are not forgotten. Chosen one. The covenant is alive. The promise stands. And heaven is reminding you so that you can walk boldly into the destiny written for you. There is a reason the angels visited you now and not in any previous season of your life. Heaven is precise. God does not move randomly, and divine messengers do not appear without timing woven into their assignment. Chosen one, you are standing in a moment that has been marked in the spiritual realm long before you ever reached it. A moment where timing, destiny, alignment, and calling all intersect in one sacred point. Everything you've walked through, every heartbreak, every delay, every lesson, every battle has been preparing you for this time, not a future time, not someday. Now, heaven has placed a seal on this moment, and the angels came to reveal that the chapter ahead is not simply another season, it is a divine appointment. You can feel it, even if you cannot explain it. The shift in your spirit, the restlessness that doesn't feel like anxiety but anticipation, the desire to rise even when you feel tired, the clarity that appears in brief flashes, like lightning illuminating the path ahead. This is the time seal opening over your life. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 9, verse 5. Then the Lord appointed a set time, saying, "Tomorrow the Lord shall do this thing in the land." Then God sets times. God marks moments. God designates the hour when things that were stagnant suddenly move, when things that were silent suddenly speak, when things that were delayed suddenly accelerate. You are entering such an hour. This is why the enemy made that final attempt. This is why your spirit has been trembling. This is why your dreams have been intense. This is why old patterns resurfaced recently, not because you were backsliding, but because you were crossing into a new spiritual atmosphere. When heaven seals a time, everything around you shifts to match it. Chosen one, look closely at your recent days. Haven't you felt the signs? People you once depended on have begun to drift away. Things that once excited you now feel empty. Places you once felt comfortable suddenly feel too small. Conversations that once satisfied you now feel shallow. Habits you once tolerated now feel heavy on your spirit. Doors you thought you wanted have closed without explanation. This isn't chaos. This is divine timing, rearranging your life. Heaven closes what no longer aligns. Heaven removes what cannot remain. Heaven isolates you long enough to sharpen your hearing. Heaven prepares you even when you think nothing is happening. You have entered a spiritually appointed window, a moment heaven has been waiting to open. This is why the angels came. Their presence was not only protective, it was prophetic. They came to announce heaven's timing over your life. For years, you've asked God questions. When will things change? When will I see breakthrough? When will I feel purpose again? When will the confusion lift? When will the promise manifest? And heaven answers you today, when the time is sealed, and the time is sealed now. But understand this, when heaven marks a moment, your spirit must align with it. Timing without agreement becomes delay. Timing without awareness becomes missed opportunity. Timing without obedience becomes frustration. This is why God awakened you. This is why He stirred you. This is why your spirit feels like something is moving within you, even if your circumstances haven't changed yet. Your spirit can feel heaven's clock striking a new hour. You are being drawn into a new level of clarity, a new level of obedience, a new level of spiritual authority, a new level of purpose, a new level of separation. And with this comes a shift in the way heaven interacts with you. Some things that were once tolerated will no longer be tolerated. Some things you once survived, you will no longer be allowed to stay in. Some connections that were once permitted will now feel spiritually incompatible. Some opportunities that looked good will now feel wrong. Because when the time seal opens, destiny becomes the priority. You might feel stretched, uncomfortable, emotional, even unsettled. But this is what happens when your spirit outgrows your surroundings. This is what happens when heaven says, now, after years of not yet, then, and now, as an act of spiritual recognition, as a way of aligning your spirit with heaven's timing. Comment 555 below. Not as superstition, not as habit, but as a declaration. I step into heaven's timing. I agree with what God has appointed for me. Then, chosen one, the hour has come. The seal is open, and heaven is moving. There are moments in a chosen one's journey that feel heavier than others. Moments where the soul feels stretched to its limit, where conviction feels sharper, where the line between obedience and rebellion becomes painfully clear. The angels came to show you that you have recently been walking dangerously close to a spiritual threshold, not because you are wicked, not because you are lost, but because the pressure around you has intensified. And in that pressure, you were drifting toward a point that heaven could not allow you to cross. Chosen one, you have been nearer than you realized to a spiritual blindness, a place where repeated hesitation can begin to silence the voice of God, where delayed obedience becomes disobedience, where familiar sins begin to feel normal again, where the heart begins to harden without noticing. This is the rebellion threshold, not rebellion in the loud, dramatic sense, not rebellion in the way people imagine with defiance and pride. No, this rebellion is quiet, subtle, internal, a drifting away rather than a running away, a softening of convictions rather than a shattering of them, a gradual dimming of spiritual sensitivity, and that is what concerned heaven. Because chosen ones do not fall through explosions, they fall through erosion, teeny compromises, small delays, thoughts entertained instead of dismissed, wounds nursed instead of healed, whispers listened to instead of silenced. You didn't know it, but something in you was getting weary. Your spirit wasn't rejecting God, but it was becoming tired of the battle. The enemy saw this fatigue long before you did, and he tried to take advantage of it. But heaven stepped in. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah. Chapter 59, verse 2. Your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hidden his face from you. This scripture isn't meant to condemn you. It is intended to show the seriousness of what was approaching, not a punishment, but a warning, not a rejection. Butareski. Because chosen ones live with higher sensitivity, what distracts others can derail you. What is small for others can blind you. What is ignored by others can imprison you. This is why God sends warnings to chosen ones earlier, louder, and more urgently. He loves you too deeply to let you drift into numbness. He refuses to let your heart harden. He refuses to let your discernment fade. He refuses to let you step into a season where you cannot hear him clearly. Your calling requires clarity. Your purpose requires sensitivity. Your anointing requires obedience. This is why heaven shook you awake. This is why the angels stood beside your bed. This is why your spirit feels more aware now than it has in months. You were nearing a threshold, but heaven intercepted it. Think back on your recent weeks. Haven't you felt moments where your spirit grew quiet? Moments where prayer felt distant? Moments where God felt silent? Moments where you knew what you should do, yet delayed it just a little longer? These were not signs of failure, they were signs of spiritual fatigue. And fatigue creates openings. Openings invite temptation. Temptation invite compromise. Compromise invite distance. Heaven saw the pattern forming, and heaven broke it. You were on the edge of stepping into a level of spiritual dullness that would have taken months, maybe years, to recover from. Not because God would have abandoned you, but because you would have stopped hearing him with the sharpness you once had. Chosen one. You carry too much destiny to walk half awake. You carry too much authority to walk half obedient. You carry too much spiritual influence to walk half sensitive. The angels came to pull you back to clarity. They came to pull you away from the threshold. They came to restore your fear of the Lord, not fear of punishment, but fear of being spiritually disconnected. You were not drifting because you didn't love God. You were drifting because you were tired. And heaven understood that, but heaven also refused to let weariness become rebellion. The threshold you were nearing looked like tuning out conviction, returning to old habits slowly, allowing harmful people access again, letting prayer slip to tomorrow, ignoring nudges in your spirit, settling for emotional numbness, listening to old lies again. None of these are dramatic sins, but they are openings. Openings that lead to blindness. Blindness that leads to bondage. Bondage that leads to spiritual silence. But last night changed everything. Your spiritual sensitivity is returning. Your awareness is sharpening. Your discernment is reawakening. Your fear of the Lord is rising again. Your heart is softening again. You have been pulled back from the edge. Chosen one. This is not a moment of shame. It is a moment of rescue. A moment of mercy. A moment of clarity. You are not falling away. You are being restored. And the threshold that once approached you has now been pushed far behind you, because heaven refused to let you cross it. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey where heaven begins to separate them from the things that cannot travel with them into their next season. This separation does not come as a punishment, but as purification. It is the mercy of God disguised as discomfort. And the angels who stood beside your bed last night came to reveal this truth. Some things in your life can no longer remain attached to you. Chosen one. Purity is not only about morality, it is about capacity. It is about clearing space in your spirit so that the destiny assigned to you can manifest without resistance. It is about removing what weighs you down so you can rise to the height God is calling you to. It is about releasing what dulls your senses, drains your joy, or clouds your discernment. The call to purity is not about shame, it is about alignment. It is about preparation. It is about elevation. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 1, I will stand upon my watch, and set myself upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me. These are not coincidences, they are divine signals. Your spirit is outgrowing what your life has not yet released. And the angels came to confirm the truth. Heaven is asking you to let go. Let go of relationships that keep pulling you back into versions of yourself God has already delivered you from. Let go of conversations that feed doubt, fear, and confusion. Let go of cycles that drain your strength and dim your discernment. Let go of habits that numb your spirit instead of nurturing it. Let go of memories that hold more power over you than truth does. Let go of identities that were shaped by pain instead of purpose. Letting go is not easy. The familiar fights to remain. The old clings to the new in hopes of returning. Comfort masquerades as safety. Fear whispers, what if you lose too much? Nostalgia paints the past prettier than it was, but heaven whispers louder. You cannot carry this into where you are going. Live. The call to purity is not a loss. It is liberation. It is the shedding of spiritual weight. It is the cleansing of the soul. It is the clearing of the path. Think of an eagle. Before it soars into higher altitude, it sheds its old feathers. Not because the feathers are evil, but because they cannot support the next height. You, too, are shedding. Or imagine a soldier removing unnecessary gear before entering battle. Not because the gear is sinful, but because extra weight will slow him down. You, too, are being lightened. Or picture a tree in winter, letting go of every leaf. Not because the leaves were harmful, but because new growth cannot come until the old has fallen. You, too, are preparing for new growth. Purity is heaven's pruning, and pruning always precedes flourishing. Some of what God is asking you to release is not bad. It is simply too small, too heavy, too misaligned, too draining, too distracting, too damaging to the sensitivity God is restoring in you. The angels came to show you what has been weighing your spirit, the things you justify but do not enjoy, the habits that feel harmless but quietly drain your strength, the people who claim to care but chip away at your peace, the environments that look normal but suffocate your anointing, the thoughts that seem small but eat away at your confidence. Heaven is not asking you to be perfect, but to be available. Available to hear, available to move, available to grow, available to rise. And availability requires purity. Not flawless purity, not performance-based purity, but purity of heart, purity of intention, purity of spirit. A willingness to say, Lord, anything that keeps me from you, remove it. This is the moment where you step into a sacred kind of surrender, the kind that cleanses, the kind that clarifies, the kind that elevates, the kind that frees. And as you release, something beautiful happens. Your spirit becomes lighter, your discernment becomes sharper, your heart becomes softer, your prayers become stronger, your purpose becomes clearer. The call to purity is not the end of joy, it is the beginning of freedom. Chosen one, heaven is preparing you, and what is coming next cannot coexist with what is leaving now. Something deep within you has been shifting, preparing, rising. The angels who stood beside your bed last night did not only protect and correct you, were brought into a sacred moment where heaven began activating something that has been waiting inside you for years. Your crown. Not a physical crown, but a spiritual mantle. A marking of authority, identity, and destiny. The kind that only God can place on a chosen one. For a long time, you walked as though you were ordinary. Life tried to convince you that you were small, unseen, replaceable. But every battle you survived, every valley you crawled through, every storm you endured was forging something royal inside you. Your crown was being shaped in the dark long before you ever felt worthy of the light. And now, the time has come for it to manifest. As Jesus declared in the Gospel of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 11, hold fast what you have, so that no one may take your crown. This is not imagery. This is identity. Chosen one. This crown is not made of gold. It is made of endurance. It is formed from every moment you chose hope over despair, forgiveness over bitterness, obedience over comfort, growth over fear, faith over exhaustion. Your crown is the symbol of everything you survived that was meant to destroy you. And when heaven places a crown, heaven also increases responsibility, influence, and spiritual visibility. You may feel this increase already, a sense of weight on your spirit, not heaviness, but importance. The awareness that who you are becoming carries impact, the feeling that your words matter more now, the realization that your presence shifts spiritual atmospheres. This is what it means to be crowned. The angels came to activate what darkness tried to dim. They came to awaken your authority, not merely protect your vulnerability. They came to show you that you are stepping into a season where your voice carries weight, your steps carry purpose, and your decisions carry destiny. Your crown changes how heaven sees you, but it also changes how the enemy sees you. This is why recent attacks intensified. This is why old temptations resurfaced. This is why your emotions felt unpredictable. This is why people reacted strangely around you. Crowns attract warfare, but they also carry victory. Think of a torch. When the flame is small, few notice. But when it burns brighter, moths appear. Yet so do travelers who were wandering in the dark. Your crown is that flame. Or think of a lighthouse. Quiet, steady, unmoving, not created for attention, but for direction. Your crown is a lighthouse in the spirit, guiding others even when you feel still. Or imagine a seed breaking through the soil to the outside. It looks like sudden growth, but heaven knows the years of underground formation. Your crown is the sprout, but the roots were formed long ago. And now, I want to speak to you from a place of honesty and heart. If these messages have touched you, guided you, strengthened you, if they have helped you stand, helped you heal, helped you see your support truly matters, not out of pressure, but out of partnership. A like is a small flame that helps this message reach another soul who feels forgotten. A share is like placing a lantern in someone else's storm. A subscription is a way of saying, I want to keep walking this path of revelation and growth. And if God stirs your heart to do so, a donation, no matter how small, is like adding oil to this spiritual lamp, helping the message continue, burning for others who desperately need hope, direction, and truth. Only give if it flows from a willing, joyful place, never obligation. And finally, leave a comment. Your words create a ripple. Your testimony strengthens others. Your reflection becomes someone else's confirmation. Your presence reminds the community of chosen ones that no one is walking alone. This crown you carry is not for decoration. It is a mantle of purpose, a calling to rise above what once held you, a marking that says heaven has entrusted you with something sacred. Your crown is beginning to shine. Your authority is awakening. Your destiny is unfolding. And the angels who visited you were sent to make sure you step confidently into who you were always meant to be. Chosen one, lift your head. Your crown has always been there, but now the world will begin to see it. You are walking into a path that only the marked, the refined, the awakened can walk. The angels who stood beside your bed did not simply intervene, warn, or correct. They came to reveal the truth of the road ahead, a path reserved for those who carry heaven's imprint, a path narrow enough to require sacrifice, yet glorious enough to transform everything it touches. This is the path of the marked ones, those chosen not merely to believe, but to become. You may not fully understand how different you truly are. You've always sensed it, but you've never had the language for it. The isolation you felt growing up, the sense of being other, the way you stood out without trying, the way people misjudged your quietness, your depth, your sensitivity. You thought it was personality, but heaven calls it distinction. Chosen one. You are not like the rest. You never have been. And now, heaven is revealing why. The ancient words recorded in Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 1. Let us lay aside every weight and the sin that ensnares us, and let us run with endurance. This is not about racing against others. It is about the path marked specifically for you. The road of the chosen is always different. You cannot walk where others walk. You cannot carry what others carry. You cannot think the way the world thinks. You cannot move according to convenience. Your steps are ordered. Your journey is sacred. Your purpose demands more from you than it asks of those around you. This is why your life has never fit into the patterns that others consider normal. This is why shortcuts never worked for you. This is why compromise felt heavier on your conscience than on theirs. This is why you felt conviction sooner, deeper, stronger. Your path has been carved with precision, like a narrow trail on the side of a mountain, steep, intimidating, demanding focus. Others may walk wide, easy roads, but your calling requires a sharpness, a discipline, a vigilance, because the higher the path, the clearer the view. And this is what the angels came to show you. You are entering higher terrain. This path will require separation, because the higher you go, the fewer people can breathe at that altitude. Some will misunderstand your distance. Some will resent your growth. Some will not recognize the version of yourself that God is forming. That is okay. Elevation requires oxygen. Some people cannot go where you are going. Sensitivity, because the marked ones must walk with awareness. You will sense danger before it arrives. You will feel spiritual shifts others overlook. You will discern intentions before words are spoken. This is not paranoia. It is divine perception. Surrender, because the path will demand that you release what weighs you down. Boundaries will sharpen. Habits will shift. Priorities will reorder. Appetites will change. What once satisfied you will not satisfy you anymore. Strength, not physical strength, but soul strength. The kind forged through tears no one saw. The kind shaped through valleys you navigated alone. The kind that grows not from ease, but from endurance. You have been training for this path your entire life without knowing it. Every disappointment strengthened your footing. Every betrayal sharpened your discernment. Every heartbreak deepened your compassion. Every battle refined your resilience. The path of the chosen is never easy, but it is always purposeful. And soon, you will notice the signs that you are walking it. You will find yourself uninterested in the noise that once consumed you. You will feel drawn to solitude, not out of loneliness, but preparation. You will feel called to higher standards spiritually, emotionally, mentally, You will begin cutting ties with anything that dulls your spirit. You will recognize distractions instantly. You will sense God's voice more quickly. This is not you changing. This is you becoming. The angels revealed this path not to intimidate you, but to encourage you. Heaven is saying, you are ready. You are prepared. You are equipped. You are stronger than you know. Walk this path we walk with you. And understand this. The path of the marked is not lonely. It is selective. It is not heavy. It is holy. It is not restrictive. It is freeing. It is not a burden. It is an invitation. An invitation into clarity, into purpose, into destiny, into partnership with heaven. As you continue forward, the steps may challenge you, but they will not break you. The elevation may stretch you, but it will not overwhelm you. The separation may sting, but it will not empty you. Because chosen ones do not walk alone. Heaven walks with you. Angels walk before you. Purpose walks beside you. And God walks within you. Chosen one. Lift your eyes. You are stepping onto the path reserved for the marked, and everything in your life is about to align with the destiny waiting ahead. Everything the angels reveal to you, every warning, every alignment, every unveiling has been leading to this final truth. The glory ahead of you is greater than anything behind you. You may not see it yet with your physical eyes, but your spirit has already begun to sense it. The heaviness is lifting. The fog is clearing. The confusion is breaking. And heaven is drawing you into the unfolding of promises that have been waiting for this precise moment in your journey. For so long, you walked with questions that had no answers. You carried wounds that seemed to linger longer than they should. You endured seasons where nothing made sense, where prayers felt unanswered, where hope flickered under pressure. But now, standing here, spirit awakened, heart aligned, path illuminated, you begin to understand that none of it was wasted. The glory that is coming is the reason you survived, what you survived. You begin to realize every detour has carried you back to this sacred point where your heart opens wider and your spirit sharpens beyond anything you imagined. What once wounded you now stands as proof that you were protected, refined, and strengthened for a destiny far greater than your past ahead. You begin to realize every detour has carried you back to this sacred point where your heart opens wider and your spirit sharpens beyond anything you imagined. What once wounded you now stands as proof that you were protected, refined, and strengthened for a destiny far greater than your past ahead. The ancient words recorded in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 10, speak to you now, after you have suffered a little while. The God of all grace will himself restore, confirm, strengthen, and establish you. End of Clee. This is not poetic encouragement. This is prophecy over your life. The angels who stood beside your bed last night came to confirm that your season of suffering, confusion, and survival is giving way to a season of restoration, strength, and establishment. The glory ahead of you is not abstract. It is specific, intentional, and deeply personal. The glory ahead will reveal purpose in places you once saw only pain. The glory ahead will bring clarity where confusion once lived. The glory ahead will open doors you were not strong enough to walk through before. The glory ahead will restore things you thought were lost forever. The glory ahead will reconnect you with the deepest truth of who you are. This glory is not loud, it is transformational. It doesn't need attention, it creates change. You will feel it first inside you before it manifests around you. A new peace that does not depend on circumstances. A new steadiness in your spirit that cannot be shaken. A new confidence that rises quietly but firmly. A new awareness of God's presence resting on your life. The glory ahead is not just blessing, it is becoming. You are becoming the healed version of yourself. The aligned version. The bold version. The purified version. The crowned version. The awakened version. Everything heaven allowed. Everything heaven blocked. Everything heaven orchestrated has been shaping you into the person who can carry what is coming. And soon, you will begin to see the outward signs. Relationships restored in ways you never imagined. Opportunities opening without striving. Peace flowing without force. Ideas coming with clarity and timing. Doors unlocking that stayed shut for years. Strength rising in moments where you once felt small. Wisdom growing in decisions you used to fear. This is not coincidence. This is fulfillment. Your story has been unfolding toward a divine conclusion all along. The glory ahead is the chapter where everything you lived through begins to make sense, not because life becomes perfect, but because your spirit becomes established. You will no longer be tossed by emotions the way you once were. You will no longer be confused by spiritual battles that once overwhelmed you. You will no longer be derailed by patterns that once ensnared you. You will no longer be shaken by storms that once broke you. The angels came because heaven wanted you to see the glory ahead before you stepped into it. They didn't come to scare you, they came to confirm you. They came to show you that everything is shifting. Everything is aligning. Everything is preparing you to walk as the chosen one you were always meant to be. And now, as you reach this moment, the end of a cycle, the beginning of a new spiritual horizon, you step not into uncertainty, but into destiny, not into fear, but into fullness. Not into survival, but into strength. Not into shadows, but into glory. Chosen one, the glory ahead is not coming someday. It has already begun. Take a breath now. Let your spirit settle. Let everything spoken throughout these 17 sections sink into the deepest parts of you. You have just walked through a spiritual journey, step by step, revelation by revelation, guided by heaven's voice. Heaven's timing. Heaven's intention. Nothing you read here was accidental. Nothing reached you by coincidence. This was a divine conversation, crafted for your spirit, orchestrated for your clarity, and timed perfectly for your transformation. You began this journey unaware of what truly surrounded you. You did not know why the heaviness felt unusual, why the dreams felt deeper, why your spirit felt alert. But now you do. The angels who stood beside your bed came because heaven is repositioning you. You have been marked, awakened, instructed, purified, crowned, and set onto a path only the chosen can walk. Let this wind down become your stillness. Let it become your breath after the battle. Let it become your reminder that you are not alone, not forgotten, not wandering. You are guided. You are watched over. You are protected. You are chosen. From this moment forward, walk differently, think differently, pray differently, expect differently. Carry the awareness that heaven has invested in you. Carry the truth that angels have stood guard over you. Carry the conviction that your destiny is unfolding with precision. And above all, carry hope. Real, grounded, spiritual hope. the kind that cannot be shaken, the kind that comes only when you realize heaven has been fighting for you long before you ever knew there was a battle. Your story does not end here. Your rise begins here.